guys, it's me again, Miranda, and in today's video, we will talk about the documents that you need to submit in applying for a visit visa sponsored by your relatives, friends, girlfriends, or boyfriend to Switzerland. But before anything else guys, if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to click the subscribe button and also don't forget to include the notification bell to get updates on my next video. So, let's start! So the first document that you need to have in applying for the visa is your passport. The passport must be at least 3 months valid from the end date of the approved duration of stay. For example guys, you are traveling for 90 days in Switzerland from January until December. So you need to count at least 3 months from March onwards. And if you're a frequent traveler, there should be at least 2 vacant pages in your passport. Now, the next requirement will be the visa application form. For the visa application form, you can find that one at the embassy's website. Take note, if you will fill out the form by hand or if it's handwritten, make sure that the letters are in block letters. And you can only use black or blue pen. Avoid using colored pen. Well, in my case, every time I apply for my visa, I always make sure na I fill out the form online para mag-i-edit na lang ako doon. And the next one is you need to have 2 passport size photo. The passport size photo must not be older than 6 months. And the background should be white and clear white background. And also, the first passport size picture will be pasted on your application form and the other one will be clipped on your passport. I-clip niyo po siya sa likod ng passport niyo. And the next requirement will be the photocopy of valid passport as well as yung expired passport niyo. Now, you need to photocopy the bio page wherein andun yung picture niyo and the page where it contains your signature and the page at the back where it states the important reminders. Now, the next requirement will be the photocopies of all visa, expired or not. For example, you have US visa or if you have expired Schengen visa, include a photocopy of those visas in your application kasi it will also show that you have travel histories. And the next one, this one applies to spouses and children of EU national or Swiss national. A photocopy of your marriage certificate, a photocopy of birth certificate or any documents that shows the relationship between the Swiss national or the EU national, and a photocopy, clear photocopy of the person who is like the father or the mother na Swiss national or yung EU national. Now, if you're a spouse or children of Swiss national, then yun lang po yung first na requirements na kailangan nyo. But if you're not, if you're visiting a relative, for example, your cousin, your auntie, then we need to proceed to the following requirements. The next one is the flight reservation. From the term itself, flight reservation, the embassy will not suggest to purchase a ticket up until the visa is released. So you can purchase or you can request a flight reservation through the airline's website. Before I got it with Qatar Airways and I think Emirates, they also have it. You just need to spend around 15 to 25 US dollars for the flight reservation. Or if not, you can contact me and I can provide dummy booking at a certain cost. Now, for the flight reservation, it should contain your name, your booking reference or your PNR. So the importance of flight reservation, guys, is dito magbe-base yung visa nyo, yung validity na visa nyo, and yung number of days na you wanted to apply for the visa. Format will be the international travel insurance. For the international travel insurance, guys, it may be purchased here locally in the Philippines or in Switzerland. Now, before, I used to have ERV. It's also accepted by the Swiss Embassy or Dr. Walters. For the insurance that is available here in the Philippines, I will put the link in the description box below. And if you need one, I can offer you Pioneer. It's around 9,000 plus for 90 days. And the insurance must cover the following. It should be 30,000 euros per person, including expenses for personal accident, urgent medical treatment, urgent admission in hospital, or urgent repatriation on medical grounds. The insurance has to cover the entire stay in the Schengen territory and must be valid for all Schengen member states. Insurance policy must clearly and explicitly state full coverage of expenses due to the pandemic COVID-19 coronavirus. And guys, like what I've said before, for the dummy booking and the insurance, I'm proud to announce that if you need those things, just send me a message through my Facebook page and we can talk about it. Next requirement, and I believe very essential in applying for a visit visa to Switzerland, is the invitation letter. Now, for the invitation letter, guys, you can submit a scanned copy of invitation letter. It doesn't need to be original as long as it is signed by your host or your sponsor in Switzerland. Now, the document should contain the details of the invited person, such as the complete name, the passport number, the date of birth, and the family relation. Now, for the host part naman, it should contain his complete name, his address, his or her address, the confirmation of invitation, the duration of stay in Switzerland, and the guarantee of accommodation. Now, together with the invitation letter, if the person who's inviting you is a Swiss national, he can just provide a copy of his passport, and if he is not a Swiss national, he can provide a copy, or he can attach a copy of his passport, his or her passport, together with a resident permit. Now, the resident permit, guys, I would suggest na make sure na yung resident permit niya is valid siya for your duration of stay in Switzerland. Kasi for example, yung resident permit niya is expiring in 2 months, but then you intended to apply for 90-day stay. Of course, your visa will not be granted kasi your stay will depend on your host in Switzerland. Now, I have a separate thorough video about the invitation letter. I will just put the link here or here for you to check, and I will just give you a little bit of background about it. Since family relation is stated in the invitation letter, if the host in Switzerland is your brother, sister, cousin, you can attach a copy of birth certificates and pictures together. Now, if the person who is inviting you is your boyfriend, girlfriend, or friend, you can include proof of relationships such as pictures, such as plane tickets when he or she came to the Philippines, or if you met somewhere. And then you can also include the entry and exit stamp to that certain country, and hotel bookings that you made under your name. And I actually have a separate video about that. I have explained it thoroughly kung paano gumawa ng effective invitation letter. I will just put the link here for you to check that one out. Now, the next requirement, guys, will be the questionnaire, additional questionnaire. This one will be handed out to you upon submission of your documents sa VFS. Now, don't worry kasi the questions will be about you and your host in Switzerland. One example is how did you met, what's your form of communication, how many times have you seen each other, and what's his work, what's his address, and also what are the reasons why you're applying for the visa. So those are the basic questions that you can find in the additional questionnaire. Now, moving on, we have here the proof of financial status. Now, for the proof of financial status, guys, I also consider this as the main proof of ties in the Philippines. Now, since you are sponsored by your relative or your boyfriend or friend in Switzerland, it's not really kasi there are instances that we don't have bank accounts, but highly suggested then na you have your own savings, you have your bank account. If wala naman, you can just provide a bank certificate from your host in Switzerland. Now, moving on, if you are employed, you can provide your certificate of employment stating the position, date of hiring, and your salary. And since if you're employed, you should also provide a certificate of approved leave of absence, specifically stating the dates as to when and up to when you will have your leave. Now, you need to provide also your bank certificate or if you have bank books, personal bank statements, credit card statement, or bank statement for the past the last 6 months. So let's just say you have two bank account, which is for the salary, and one is for personal use. Now, I would suggest to provide both bank certificate and bank statement kasi for the bank, for the embassy to see kung paano mo ginagamit yung money mo, yung bank flow, yung money flow mo, yung in and out. So, mas better na provided both. Now, if you are self-employed or if you have a company of your own, you can provide your DTI permit, your business registration, your ITR, and nga pala, if you're employed, you can also include your ITR, latest ITR, your business financial statement, your bank certificate, bank book, personal bank statement, credit card, and bank statement for the last 6 months. Now, same with those who are employed, you can include 2 bank statement and bank certificate. Now, the next one, if you're a student naman, you can include the enrollment, proof of enrollment, your student ID, and certificate of leave of absence if traveling during the school year. Now, these 3 guys, I consider this also as strong proof of ties in the Philippines. Now, if you are not employed, you don't have a business, and if you're not a student, the other proof of ties will be your properties. If you have properties under your name, for example, land title or a deed of sale, or if you have car, yung ORCR, you can also include that one. Now, if you have dependents, for example, you have a daughter, or let's say your siblings are depending on you, ikaw yung nag-aalaga sa kanila, you can also include that as your proof of ties. So if you're also renting, or let's say meron kang hinuhulugan na property, you can include that one. If you don't have any of those things that I mentioned earlier, if you're not employed, if you don't have business, you don't have properties under your name, if you're not a student, if you don't have any, let's say, car or mga sasakyan, mga kahit ano pa yan, it doesn't mean that you cannot travel anymore or you cannot get the visa anymore. This time, guys, I would highly suggest to make a cover letter. Now, for the cover letter, it is a letter, guys, that contains the explanation as to why you want to travel to Switzerland, reasons as to why you want to visit your family, your relatives, or your boyfriend to Switzerland. Now, i-explain nyo lang dun truthfully and from the heart na you want to meet your boyfriend's family, you want to visit your auntie, your mom in Switzerland na hindi pwedeng mag-travel sa Philippines. There's no harm in trying, guys. And also, this is where lalabas yung importance ng invitation letter. Kasi if nakita din ng embassy or ng consul na pati si guarantor or si host nyo sa Switzerland will take responsibility sa visit mo doon, that he will make sure na after ng visit mo is uuwi ka, of course, both with the cover letter and the invitation letter, you will have a chance. Hindi man ganun kalaki, but you will have a chance to get the visa and to be able to visit Switzerland. Now, if you want to see more about the details about the cover letter and the invitation letter, I have included a link here or here for you to check that one out. And if you need help in formulating your cover letter, please don't hesitate to send me a message in my Facebook page, and I will try to help you out. But yeah. Now, the next one will be your marriage certificate and birth certificate if you are traveling with your wife, your spouse, or your children. Now, the next one is if you're traveling with a minor. For example, you're traveling with your daughter tapos hindi kasama si dad. There should be a affidavit of support or consent from the person na naiiwan sa Pinas, si mom or si dad. Now, if both naman is wala, same, you need to have affidavit of support and consent from both of the parents. Now, regardless if both ng parents ang wala or one lang yung kasamang mag-travel, you need to get the clearance from DSWD na si minor is magta-travel with you. Now, aside from that, if you are a non-Filipino applicant who are resident of the Philippines, it is also possible, provided that you can provide your ACR or the Alien Certificate of Registration. Now, so far, that will be the requirements that you need to submit in applying for the visa. And yes, guys, it's a lot to take in, especially if it's your first time to apply for a Schengen visa. But if you need help, if you need assistance, if you need someone to prepare the documents for you, please don't hesitate to contact me. I also offer visa services. I can do full package, or if you want me to do just the cover letter, the invitation letter, or kahit mo fill out lang ng form, I can do that for you. Just contact me through my Facebook page and we can talk about it. Or if you have just simple questions, just leave a comment below and I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. So I wish you luck, guys, in your visa application, and see you in Switzerland. Good luck!